Here we go. It is Saturday morning. It's a 3-year anniversary of my dad passing away, which is an emotional day. So I woke up this morning really feeling energized. 7 good hours of sleep. Got right back onto systems and just opening up some wounds around past events and not related to my dad, just past events. And so I get into this just going to do Monday differently. Doing Monday on my terms and the ways that we're going to operate, right? And I've got to, what does that look like? It's like, what's the ideal Monday look like from a work? So first of all optional meetings, completely asynchronous work, doing stuff over chat and deliverables, right? Not having some meetings, having a real path to get off those things that are mediocre. And it's fine. Working in a large organization. Large organizations might as well be government institutions, right? They're not, they're not benevolent beings, right? They don't care about the individuals. They don't care about the human beings. And the people care about the things, but the organizations don't. So trying to do transformational work inside of a large organization, what happens is a lot of times devolve into this innovation theater, right? It looks like you're doing innovation. We're talking about innovation. A great thing to do is knowing what's happening on the outside, what's the market look like, and but real work that gets done inside of small incremental changes over a period of time, fingers on keyboards, developing stuff, and putting some marketing in place, right? So we know that, right? I know that that's what it's like, but it doesn't make a difference. It doesn't change the conversation in my head on a Saturday morning, because it's scary. It's really scary. So what I do know in my heart is, number one, I'm dad, I'm husband, and I'm somebody who has a commitment to live to be 100, 120, 130 inside of Dave Asprey's living to 200, right? Just doing the work, being healthy, eating the right things, and managing stress. And I wake up on a Saturday morning stressed, right? Stressed because stuff is out of alignment. So how would I do that, right? Walks in the woods, walk and talk, right? Doing podcasts like this. So here's my thing. I was like, dude, if I'm going to spend 35 minutes spinning on a conversation inside my head, I'm going to put it out there into the world, right? I'm going to put it out into the world where it can actually make a difference. When I'm having conversations with other people inside of my head, I'm going to put them out in the world. But I'm not necessarily ready. I don't know what conversation I want to have with individuals yet, right? That's if you look at an MVP, you put it out there and start to get some feedback. I don't know what conversation I want to have with individuals. So I work it out verbally like this, and then I can also share this with other people. This isn't going to be a big there's not 1,000 people listening to this podcast, especially if I don't share it over social media. It's just out there in the world, and I can share it with people. I was like, hey, what do you think about this? What are you hearing? What's going on? I was like, listen to my voice. How's my mental health, right? That's all that's out there. We don't know necessarily what conversation we want to have, especially, this is interesting, when you do transformation, we do transformation in, making incremental improvements every single day, which is great. Make incremental improvements every single day. It's great. I'm 46 years old as I record this. I've got at least 50 years of life left to make some improvements. But from a career perspective, I'm playing in 2-year trajectories. And the other big thing where the time doesn't come back, because my daughter's 11 now, my son is 8, those years never come back, and no time ever comes back. So now the question is, can we get to a place where we can bridge those gaps pretty quickly, right? And so one way is just to get completely honest where things are mediocre. That's one play. But here's what that does. When I get really honest on stuff, or especially if it's planned honesty and it's coming from an angry place, it's not on the foundation of creation. There are some people in my life where I can have those conversations from the angry place. I can have those conversations from an angry place, and they know how to translate those back. But those are few and far between. And even with those people, you can have those conversations from an angry place with. And I've got a coach, right, who can just takes me where I is at any point in time, gets paid to listen to me every single day. Get that every single day, right? Every single day gets paid to listen to me to have those conversations. I can have those, but personal people, like they've got their full lives, they've got stuff that's working, right? Things you can share and trigger. So you can have and there's only a limited number of people that can have those real conversations with. So that's number one. Number two, got to make small changes, right? Can't do, especially in larger organizations, can't do rapid transformation over a period of time. And that's where the struggle comes. I'm on a every second, failure mission, right? I declare failure mission. Everything, my last job was with no permission or no agreement or no possibility. It was like, got up every single day and said, hey, we're here to have New York compete with Silicon Valley. That's what I did. Every single day, got in front of people and shared that work or shared that vision. And people, a lot of things got moved based on that conversation. So here's what I'm here. My work right now is to create ways of working that allows people to work for themselves. And there's vessels and jobs to be able, or not to be able to work for themselves. Sorry, I'm so tied into that entrepreneurial BS. You want to work for yourself when you get, it's not that. Ways of working that work for people, right? I worked in a way last year that completely worked for me, right? And that is this cell phone talking, turning those talkings into products, getting feedbacks on those products, turning those talkings into marketing pieces and getting feedback on it, and going literally, because the brain is more powerful, right? There's enough capacity in my individual brain and in any person's individual brain to completely transform an organization, right? And so the brain has the ability to be able to do it, but right, we don't use it in the right place. So the best way that I've realized or thought or come up with to access what's really going on inside of the brain is talking. Just talking freestyle. This is inspired by Mark Levy's Accidental Genius, using free writing as access to your greatest thought. It says at some point in time, the subconscious mind takes over, right? Because it was still conscious up until I started talking like this is subconscious, right? And I sacrifice sound quality. It might be difficult to hear this thing. I sacrifice sound quality for that because anything that is a gap between the work that we do with the conscious mind and anything that gets in the way of accessing the subconscious mind, which is real truth, is a little bit of a challenge. But now I know I'm not speaking real truth right now because I still have a pit in my stomach, right? Or I'm not, right? At some point in time, that pit will relieve, and as I acknowledge that pit in the stomach, it starts to go away a little bit, right? So this isn't real truth. This isn't like I'm willing to die for where this conversation is going. There's still some wounds. There's still some healing that needs to get done in the background around this particular conversation. So I record podcasts. I put them out there into the world so I can be present. Right, today's a Saturday. Today's a vacation day. Today's a celebration day. Today's a day to hang out with my family. Today's a day to celebrate my dad. Today's a day to celebrate, right? It's not to be, and we'll do that, all that stuff will happen on the surface. And most people won't even know, right? But they will know, right? But our thoughts, and our subconscious minds really controlling. So the best way that I know to start to get stuff out there from the subconscious mind is this, right? I'm recording a podcast and being accountable for it out in the public, because if something gets said inside of this that can inspire at least one other person to do one other thing, that's incredible. Even if it's just to share something, right? To share something that they were unwilling to share in the past. Or it's also when I'm in a place when I am feeling wounded, when it's tough, when there's a tough transition, for my friends out there to actually listen to and be like, dude, we're worried about you, right? To come back. And that's some stuff that's tough to hear sometimes, but to have that. So audio voice is the way to make things work. And it's why I hate to declare war on anything, but I'm definitely declaring a war on meetings, right? I'm declaring a war, it's like, and that's probably is, right? Declaring a war as opposed to, right? Declaring that war creates, so why is that? Which is right. I don't think when you declare war on something and you have an enemy, that's in place of building bonds and building bridges, right? We declare war before we build bonds and build bridges, right? I don't have the access right now because I am wounded. And when I'm wounded, feeling wounded, when I have that pit in the stomach, it's harder to do stuff from a more empowered place. But if you're hearing this, this is the path, right? This is the path to empowerment. I'm a little bit of a, was it sadist? Is that what it's called? It's not, sadist isn't the right term. Right? I like to back myself into these corners where there's no option but to do transformation. But now, being inside of a larger organization, right, that's not, everybody didn't necessarily sign up for that, even though they might have said that they wanted to sign up for that. They didn't sign up for that mental health piece of the conversation. So this is it. This is the self-talk. We'll listen back to this one and see where it is. I'm actually going to ask for some help on this one from my friends from Speak AI. I'm not going to get near my computer to be able to just run this through and do some analytics on these things. What are we talking about? And fuck, I just got it, right? This is the path to transformation, right? We have these conversations from emotionally heightened place, and then you start picking out the pieces where transformation can, like the components. We said a bunch of different stuff here, the components of where transformation can actually happen. So yes, we'll go for there. It's also a big signal of like, if you like this sort of stuff, then cool. If you don't like this sort of stuff, then you also know when to stay away. Because I present in the most, somebody said to me, just keep smiling. And I want to smile most of the time, and I am smiling most of the time. I feel like I've got the most charmed life in the world most of the time. But coming along with that charmed life, coming along with that privilege, is to be able to make a difference, and to be able to make a difference for other people, and to be able to share as much as possible. Have an amazing day.